After almost a year shut off from not only the rest of the world but most of the mainland, Tasmania's tourism sector is crying out for support. The Apple Isle has avoided any major COVID outbreak, but at what cost? Political reporter Tom Connell filed this report.
Tasmania relies heavily on tourism. The industry makes up 17% of the state's jobs. Pre-COVID, it was worth $2.5 billion a year, but that dropped to just $1 billion.
When you suddenly turn off that tap so dramatically, it well and truly shook right to the core.
Even those not just surviving but thriving have had to make major adjustments. Pennicott Wilderness Tours showcase the best of Tasmania and Victoria's breathtaking scenery. But for 3 months last year, the company's fleet of boats sat listlessly at dock.
We lost about 10 staff because of COVID. We're probably, on all of our products, we're down 41%, but we're still heading the right way. So we're a lot better off than a lot of people.
The COVID pivot was more difficult for Tim and Jane Parsons on Coringa Farm, an hour north of Hobart. International tourists flocked to the property for luxury accommodation and the real Aussie farm experience. Australians initially needed some convincing.
As a bit of mismanagement in the past, because our flavour and focus was international, we sort of let our locals sit idle. But it really didn't take much for us to lean into social media, just get the word out and just promote to our local people.
Again, JobKeeper was a lifeline that helped the business recalibrate. But Tim Parsons says he can hang in there until international tourists restart.
It might be next year, it might be the year after that, but the diversity will enable us to ride it out.
But there's no such luxury for Greg Price. He's jumped to buses and not leaving very often from the warehouse.
Business has been down a lot. We're probably, our best month will be 90% down.
Jump Tours was a thriving business based on overseas students and backpackers seeing the great outdoors. It's a market that just can't be replaced.
We don't mind copying the hit to keep international waters closed and keep Australia safe, but we just need that support, especially from the federal government.
I understand why they want to turn JobKeeper off, but to simply just put the free half-price fares in the market for a very short period of time, to me that's just prolonging an inevitable drop off the cliff as well.
Tourism is like many industries in Australia. For some, they're actually pretty smooth sailing. For others, there's very much rough seas. And the question for Australian government, state and federal, is going to be to decide which businesses will have to go overboard and which will be thrown a life raft.
For those operators, it's a bit of a decision time around do I seek to reset my business around the markets we do have that are coming, that are strong and are quite lucrative, or do I hibernate my business and perhaps and look to come back when those markets start to return.
Tom Connell, Sky News, Hobart.